Greetings yet again from the west side of Syracuse. My name is Ashley Maready. I'm the Curator of Collections and Exhibitions for the Erie Canal Museum in downtown Syracuse, New York. Syracuse is known as the Salt City, and the reason for that is because Syracuse as a city wouldn't exist if not for the salt industry. Salt industry began here in the late 18th century after the Revolutionary War, when settlers began boiling salt springs that came from Onondaga Lake. So this interesting site that I'm standing on today is the site of a pump house from 1890. This was one of 3 brine pump houses that was built and maintained by the state of New York to help feed the brine to the 2 different methods of salt production that were here. Syracuse salt was produced in 2 different ways, by boiling the brine that would have been brought through this pump house behind me, as well as by solar evaporation. The brine would be left out in the sun to have the water evaporate out, thereby producing the salt. So this pump house behind me, the remains of it that you can see here were actually discovered in 2017 in the process of redeveloping this site during construction. It was originally built in about 1890, and it was torn down between 1908 and 1924. So salt was a major industry in the city of Syracuse for over 100 years. The peak year of production was 1862, when 9 million bushels were produced, worth about $30 million at the time. In fact, salt production in Syracuse actually helped the North win the Civil War. The North cut off the South's supply of salt, which was derived from mines in Louisiana and Virginia, and meanwhile Syracuse was supplying the Union with salt necessary to preserve food. The salt production here actually created the need for other industries such as blacksmithing, coopering, and basket weaving. The salt that was produced in Syracuse was transported by way of the Erie Canal, as well as lateral canals in New York State that connected to the Erie. The Oswego Canal in particular, which led from downtown Syracuse up to Lake Ontario, was instrumental in the distribution of salt from Onondaga Lake. So thanks for joining me yet again. The museum is still closed due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but we do hope to be reopening in the next couple of weeks. So when we do, I hope you'll come check out my exhibit, Syracuse and the Erie Canal, 200 Years. Hope to see you then. Stay safe. Thank you very much.